When you go someplace, meeting 3 new people. Networking is everything. When you're jumping from place to place, make sure that it's for something that is getting you closer to the goal that you have.
What do you do when everything you've built collapses overnight? Carla Peters, today's guest, who lived through that nightmare, somehow turned it into the greatest comeback story I've ever heard. How did she do it? That's exactly what we're about to reveal, but not the way you expect.
With this generation, it's a little bit harder to communicate with people because a lot of people are on social media, on their phone.
If you could talk to your 18-year-old self or any teenager that's actually watching, what advice would you give on becoming successful?
Be patient, find your tribe. How can I get to here by here? It's a blessing to get up and say, today I have another chance to be a better person.
Welcome to Jews Legacy Productions, where story connects generations. A Conversation with a Pioneer is a segment that celebrates the life and journey of North Miami Senior High School pioneers by bridging the past and the present to inspire the future. Today we have an alumni from class of 1983, Carla Peters. She is the executive director of the Greater Chamber of Commerce of Miami Shores. It is with great pleasure to have Carla here. Carla, who is Carla Peters?
Wow, that's a good question to start out with. I am the executive director of the Greater Miami Shores Chamber of Commerce. I've been there about 8 years. Proud pioneer, graduated in '83.
Of course.
I've lived in the area my whole life with a quick jaunt to South Beach for a decade.
Okay.
And back into the Shores, raised my family here, and happy, proud resident, and happy to serve my community.
Carla, what was your upbringing like?
I grew up staunchly middle class, lower middle class probably. North Miami was a different environment. I'm sure all those people on the wall have told you that. When we grew up here, it was a different time, but it was great. Growing up here was amazing. It was a lovely community, lots of really nice families, not a lot of worries, not much crime. It's different. I love the changes that are happening in North Miami now. It makes me happy to see it coming back, and maybe coming back's not the right word, but evolving and growing and expanding, and I'm very proud for North Miami.
A lot of people don't know that the Johnson and Wells, it was a hospital prior to this, and now it's an actual school.
Right.
Do you remember much about that?
My father had surgery there, and I remember that I was too little to go visit him, and so my mom drove me to the empty field across the street. My dad went to the window and waved at me, and because I couldn't see him at the hospital. But I do remember when it was a hospital, I had friends whose moms were nurses there, and
right.
It was a hospital for a long time.
Someone told me that the elementary, W.J. Bryan, you would come from W.J. Bryan, and then you will go straight to the high school instead of the middle school. The middle school wasn't always there.
I went a different path. So I went from Lakeview to Thomas Jefferson.
You went to Lakeview Elementary?
Lakeview Elementary.
Did you graduate from Lakeview Elementary?
I don't know, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I mean, who knows? Figure it out, do the math.
Right.
I can't even do the math.
I was class of 2013 at Lakeview.
From Lakeview?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I probably graduated sooner than you.
Right.
Lakeview, then TJ, then North Miami.
Oh, you went to TJ also?
I went to TJ.
Thomas Jefferson.
Jaguar.
Right. So how was
Miami girl.
Just like you mentioned, as far as the environment, the place was different.
Place was different, but it was different everywhere, right? It was a different time, less stress, less violence, less crime, very family oriented. It was a lovely neighborhood to grow up. I had tons of friends, like everybody else. In that time, we'd ride our bikes until dark.
Everybody was
there was no air tags
Right.
in my backpack.
Of course.
I know where my kids are 24/7 with that Life 360. My parents had no idea where I was. We were
Right.
skateboarding and jumping off things and climbing trees and having a really easy childhood, a very unworried childhood.
Miss Peter, I'm Ursax. How did you work your way up to get to the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce in Miami Shores, the Greater Chamber of Commerce of Miami Shores?
Greater Miami Shores
Chambers of Commerce.
We always have to say greater because we are not just Miami Shores, we're Biscayne Park, El Portal, and parts of Little River.
So you guys service all that?
We do service all of them, correct. I took a rather non-linear path, I guess, when I graduated from North Miami. I went to the Art Institute. I was really interested in graphic design and got a degree from there. Went to work for a couple of newspapers, and wound up actually at a company called New Times. I don't know if you're familiar with them. At the time, they were a growing alternative news weekly. When I started there, they had 5. When I left there, they had 18. Shortly after I started, I guess a couple years into my career there, I moved to their corporate office and became their corporate production art director. And I would fly around when they would buy new products.
Nice.
It was a growing industry. Remember, those alternative news weeklies were everywhere.
Of course.
And so when they would buy one, I would go in and spend 6 months in LA and transition that paper, 6 months in Houston, 6 months wherever they would buy a paper. I would go in and set them up, and it was a great opportunity to travel around, spend time in other markets, spend time in other cities. I was single, I was young,
Nice.
and it was a lot of fun. It was a great job to have
could imagine.
as a young person. And then eventually I met my soon-to-be husband and wound up taking a step back
Nice.
because I couldn't travel all the time. And I got married and eventually decided to take a sabbatical and stayed home, I would say, about 12 years, raising my kids.
Okay.
And all 3 girls. And when I got divorced, I decided that I had to go back to work.
Okay.
And, life had changed while I was out raising my children. There was no more significant careers in newspaper publishing.
That's true. Because the world has
That
changed. It's very different.
The world changed
Right,
rapidly while I
right.
was being a mom. And so I wound up having to reinvent myself, try and pivot, as everybody likes to say, pivot, find a different career path. And actually was living in the Shores where I'd raised my children, and got approached about helping to produce the magazine that comes out of the chamber, which is called the E-Grade.
Okay.
And the E-Grade goes to every house, Miami Shores, Biscayne Park, El Portal. And so I started doing that, since that was what my background was. And little by little, they started to say, Carla, people like you. You've got a great personality. Why don't you come and work in the office? Come and help us with some events. And little by little, they started, reeling me in. And the next thing I knew, I
Nice.
was the director. It was fortuitous and really, and actually it's the best job I've ever had. It's a wonderful place to work. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I have a board of directors that's massive. I have 32 bosses.
Are you serious?
Yes, I make everybody happy. If you're watching, you love your, I make everybody happy. It's a lot of people to answer to, but
Oh, wow.
they're wonderful. They're all leaders in their respective careers, and they've been nothing but gracious and helpful, and I could call any single one of them at any time and say, hey, you know what, I need help with this, I don't understand this, or can you help me figure this out? And every single one of them drops what they're doing and gives me their time, their talent, their expertise, and I'm very, very fortunate in that because it's helped me be as successful as I could be. They really have set me up for success.
Nice.
So, Carla, what's the primary functions of the Chambers of Commerce?
So the Chamber functions as a advocate for small business. We're technically a nonprofit.
Okay.
Our main goal is to help promote and advocate for small businesses in our community. It's a business function, but we also take our responsibility as a member of the community very seriously, and so we try and integrate things that are good for the community but also help our small businesses. So we do a lot of events, which is good for everybody. It's good for our businesses, and residents love being able to come down to Miami Shores, especially our little downtown, for some sort of little event and run into their neighbors and have a beer, walk their dog, walk their kid. It's a lot of fun. It's still a very family-oriented community.
Nice. So for students and someone who's a small business owner that wants to tap into some of the resources that you guys have, how do they go about doing that?
So we offer, yes, as a chamber, the way the chamber functions is it's a membership-based. So the way that we, as most nonprofits are, we're membership-based. People pay a certain amount to be a member, but we're not limited to that. We try and help all of our businesses in the Shores, and a lot of our events are either free or low cost. You don't have to be a member. It's different structure, but you can come to a networking event, and that's a big thing that I keep trying to tell my children who are in college right now. go to networking events.
Okay.
College is a networking experience, right? That's what you're, aside from learning, but you're there, and a lot of the people that you meet, you carry on with for the rest of your life. Just like in high school, I'm still friends with a lot of people that I went to high school with.
Oh, nice.
So network, right? I think that's a really strong message to give even high school kids. Network. When you go someplace, introduce yourself. Anytime you go to some sort of, even if it's a social experience, a social environment, try and walk out of there meeting 3 new people that you didn't know when you walked in the
Nice.
door. Right? That's what we tell everybody, especially if, we'll get people that'll come to a networking event. You can tell they're a little bit nervous. You can tell they don't know how to work a room. They don't know how to approach someone and start a conversation and give that elevator pitch or whatever it is that we're calling that. But just have a regular conversation. That's it. And 3 people. Before you leave, 3 people.
But that's now with this generation, it's a little bit harder to communicate with people because a lot of people are on social media, on their phone.
You're right.
The level of communication is a little bit different.
Put the phone away.
Right.
Put the phone away.
Right.
In-person networking is everything, right? Then you move to LinkedIn. Then you follow up with all of the social media links. But those personal connections are how you establish communication with people, I think. If we're talking about me personally, that has been a big driving force in my career, is being able to talk to people. That's how I got this job. That's how, I'd like to think I'm good at my job, and it's because of that. It's because of those personal relationships.
Nice.
So if there's somebody out there that wants to join a committee, is there any requirements to join the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, to join the Chamber of Commerce, it's really meant for small businesses. But if you have an entrepreneur, they can join. It's $300 a year. It's not expensive. But a lot of our events are free. You don't have to be a member. They're open to the public. And, a student who's looking for a job, fantastic opportunity.
Right.
You have to make sure that it's something that is age appropriate. Sometimes we'll do them in a brew pub, or we'll do them in a bar and it's 21 and over. But sometimes it is literally, we have a monthly breakfast. It's the first Friday of every month. And that's straight up networking. Plus, we bring in speakers that talk about different topics: how to start a small business, how to apply for funding. They're really good. They're not expensive. And it's a great way for someone, especially who's looking for a job, to go in and say, you know what? Hi, I'm Tom. I'm studying this, and this, you want to exchange information, and let's just keep in touch. And you never know, it opens doors. I mean, I know it's tough out there right now with kids coming out of school trying to gain employment. It's just one more way of being able to meet people, and you never know where those connections are going to go. You don't know who you're talking to until you've actually met them, and who they might know. So, in person, put your phone down.
Put the phone down.
Put the phone down.
Ms. Peters, talk to us about some of the grants, opportunities that you guys, the Chamber of Commerce, offer. Because I had a chance to go to one of the breakfasts you guys had, and you guys gave some grants out to some of the grassroots organizations, and also I believe Horseman Band was able to get a grant, I believe.
That is through the Alliance. So
that's through the Alliance.
The Alliance, right? That is the Miami Shores Community Alliance. And they, as a nonprofit, they fund us too. They give us money for different events. But Horseman, the little school that could, we love them. And just as taking off my chamber hat and just putting on my mom hat, I love to support them any way I can.
Nice.
I think they're Title I school. They don't have the same resources as some of the other schools do. They don't have the same demographic of parents that are constantly having a bajillion bake sales to raise money to repave the basketball court. We've got kids there that are trying to go to competitions, and there's, they always need money.
Nice.
They always need help. So they're big in my heart, and
of course.
But from a chamber perspective, we don't offer grants, but we'll take a grant.
Of course. Oh, so you guys do not offer grants?
No, we don't have grants because, again, what we're doing is we are promoting small businesses.
Of course.
Right? There are other things that we can do. We do take interns. We're taking an intern now. So there's other things that we can do. But again, having kids that are interested in getting employment, in furthering their career, and getting a startup, these networking gigs, especially the ones that are free, open to the public, are fantastic opportunities that I would highly encourage your kids to come to. your students. I wanna
So,
call them
Carla, you
kids.
do have a very successful career, and I love what you do. But what's next for you?
I don't know. That's a good question. A very successful. I am a big fish in a little pond. Miami Shores, Biscayne Park, El Portal. I'm marching my way into Little River.
Those are
I'm
good
gonna
communities,
plant
Carla.
a flag
Right.
and say, you know what, we're here. I feel like the chamber offers so much, and we do, for being such a small chamber, I feel like we do a lot. We do a ton. We have massive events. Biggest one we have, Green Day, it's April.
I was just gonna ask you about Green Day. How did that come about? And
Green Day, well, you'll find that our demographic is they're very intelligent. The people that live in Miami Shores tend to skew, they're really smart. And they're also very civic-minded, ecologically minded. And it came out as just, it started off as a way to promote and celebrate all things that are earth-friendly and sustainability, right? So being more eco-conscious. And then it just sort of rolled into, okay, well, let's have a street party and let's bring in vendors that are going to talk about, how to maintain a native landscape and,
Right.
and solar panels and how you can, have a smaller footprint and things that are important to the environment. And then it grew, and then all of a sudden you've got people with corn on a stick, and it became this street festival.
of course,
And then because everybody loves a good party,
and it's a big event.
it's a massive event.
It's a
Last
big
year we
event.
had almost 10,000 people.
Wow.
And so we
10,000 people.
10,000 people.
That's a lot of people.
And we shut the street off from 96th Street all the way up to 103rd.
Yes.
And I think I had 120 vendors and an amazing group of nonprofits that came and talked about ecology, water, conservation, native plants. We had people with wildlife rescue. I mean, it was a really great turnout.
Right.
A lot of fun. The mayor came, and Mayor Daniela Livincava, who's always so supportive.
Oh, she was there?
Yeah, she was there.
Nice.
She released a bird, which is kind of a funny story because I am terrified of birds and did not know what was in the box that was handed to her
Right.
from Pelican Harbor Seabird Rescue Station. Sorry if I butchered that, but and they were like, okay, you're gonna open that. And I'm standing there with the mic, like, okay, Daniela, thank you for coming. And then she opened this thing, and out flew this bird. And I was about to hit the deck. I was terrified, and it was very funny, and of course captured on video. I was like, ah! Like, please let me not swat the thing out of the air after they just rescued it.
Of course.
Let's try and just let it go. So that was my big faux pas for Green Day. But it's a great event, and again, we're the tiny little chamber that can put that on. We do that with the Village of Miami Shores. They support us and help partner with us and help offset some of that because it's a big haul. But great for our businesses.
Do you guys collab with other Chamber of Commerce, like Miami-Dade County?
No, but we recently had lunch with the North Miami Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
Miami.
North Miami. I mean, we're like this. They're neighbors.
Right.
And you guys do a lot here. You're obviously a much larger municipality, and you're structured a little bit differently because I think you're also funded partially by the city,
Right.
Because it's got a CRA or some sort of community
We do.
development, right? So we're not in that same under that same umbrella, but we had a great lunch with him, and he gave us some ideas, and it's just nice to bounce stuff off people that are in the same place as you are.
Miami Shores have their very first Chick-fil-A.
My
Right.
first Chick-fil-A. That is correct.
So how was that, and also working with John? Because John is one of our sponsors here on this platform. So how is it working with John overall?
John, I hope you watch this. We love John Harmeling. He's been a huge supporter of the chamber. He sat on our board for a while. He's an amazing guy. Personally, professionally, I love everything he's doing there. We're certainly happy to have them. Miami Shores is a very diverse. It's a diverse community, and I was a little nervous about some aspects of that, and he handled everything with such grace. He really was upfront and honest and open, and let's have a dialogue about this. If you're uncomfortable, let's have a chat about this. And ultimately, they're a young couple. They started a business, and if you can look at them as that, what they're doing there, and the amount of help that they're providing for some of their employees is astonishing. He's
Nice.
a really amazing guy.
Nice.
He walks the walk, he talks the talk, and I'm very, very happy for his success. Yeah. Hey, John.
I've been in Miami for a while, and I see a lot of development going around me, right? A lot of developments.
Like that just popped up. I didn't even see it. All of a sudden, it's like, what is that?
Of course. So, what and how does Miami Shores navigate in that space to keep developers away from their city? Because if you look at Miami Shores, majority of the city are, long-time owners, single-family homes.
Sure.
And you'll drive from city of Miami, and you'll drive right through Miami Shores. It's completely different. You get to North Miami, then it's like development going up everywhere. As a resident and as the executive director, how do you guys manage that?
Well, that is actually, so the Chamber of Commerce we don't get involved in politics.
Of course.
At all. So I'll have to take off my chamber hat and put back on my mom resident hat and say that Miami Shores has fought really hard against large development. We love the charm of Miami Shores. Everybody does. And people fight to keep it the way that it is because it is charming. If you have you been through Miami Shores?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So it is like a time warp, right?
Yes.
But it is has a charming hometown feel to it that people love.
Yes.
And they really are not in favor of big development. It would change. Traffic would be a nightmare. There are a lot of people that are against it. I personally, watch me get flamed for this, but I personally think that there needs to be some sort of a mix. And that is from a chamber perspective, not wearing my chamber hat.
Of course.
Because we need foot traffic. We love having a charming little wine shop, and we had this amazing little plant store and a great little dress shop, and they're adorable businesses.
Yes.
People love it. Makes our downtown really charming, but we have to be able to support them. We lost our little plant store. We have to be able to support them. So you can't have it both ways, right? If you want to keep Miami Shores the way that it is in this charming village, then go and buy the plant and buy the dress and patronize the wine shop and patronize the little restaurants and keep them afloat, right? You can't have it both ways, or we have to bring in people from outside that are going to do that. That's what the chamber is trying to do. We're trying to promote our small businesses, to build them up and keep them in place because we love having them. They make Miami Shores the charming village. We're a village, by the way.
Yes.
They make Miami Shores the charming village that it is, but we have to support them. And if that's not going to be with additional development, I'm all for that because I don't want more traffic and I don't want more burdens on our community. But at the same time, how do we support our small businesses?
Do you guys get peacocks from?
Oh my goodness. That's funny you say that because I'm on the western south side. So I have had peacocks in my yard. My girlfriend, hi Jen, who lives a couple blocks away, had a peacock in her yard not very long ago. So yes, we do get them coming in from El Portal. They live in a very specific area. And every once in a while, one will get lost and wind up in my yard. They're very beautiful. They're unbelievably beautiful. I think that for the people of Biscayne Park, they love them. They have a love-hate relationship with them, though, because they fly up on the roof. They'll jump up on the car. They peck the cars because they think that
there's food inside?
No, they think that they look and they see their reflection, and then they, it's like fighting fish. They're like, you're a mate, get off my car, I'm here first. And then, they'll peck at they're not such friendly neighbors, but they're beautiful. Once or twice a week, you cut through El Portal to get to Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
And there'll be a whole little family crossing the street, and they're slow. And you're like, come on, little peacock, come on, little peacock. And so they're charming. I love them. And once in a while, yes, they'll wind up in my yard, if that was the question.
So, Carla, you mentioned you have 3 daughters.
I do.
And so what are they up to now?
Okay, this is my mom flex, okay? Even though I can't take credit for them, my mom flex is I got 2. My girls got themselves into the University of Florida. So I've got 2 baby gators. They are sophomores this year.
What major?
Ask me again tomorrow. 'Cause they changed. They went in as computer science majors, then one went to computer engineering, and now she's electrical engineering, I think. Sorry if I got that wrong, kid. But and then the other one went as computer science, and now she's doing computer science with a minor in finance, but now she's thinking about swapping it, doing a major in finance and a minor in computer science. So all my kids are STEM based.
Nice.
Yeah, and my youngest is senior at SAS Wolfson, which is School for Advanced Studies on the campus of
Miami-Dade, right?
Miami-Dade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're all smarties. And she also, I think, wants electrical engineering. Electrical or mechanical? But anyway, I think they're all going to wind up as some sort of engineer.
Ms. Peters, you deliver twins.
I did.
She have twins?
She have those girls are twins.
Yeah, my oldest.
Oh, yeah, twin girls?
Twin girls. Yeah.
How can you walk us through that experience when you found out, or when did you find out that you were having twins, and how the whole pregnancy was?
That's well, you don't really expect that, and at first. When the first test came back, it looked like there might have been 3. And literally, when they did the test, my then husband was standing there and basically collapsed because he was like, 3, oh my. And so she's like, oh, no, that's a shadow. There's only 2. Wait, relax, there's only 2. I had my children late in life, and they were an absolute blessing. We tried for a long time, and so when we had them, we thought, thank goodness, look at that. We got 2 in 1 thing. We're done. Like, look at us. We had 2 in 1 go. They're, instant family. And then sometimes you never know what life has in store for you. And then a couple years later, I had Chloe, my youngest.
Nice.
And I was 44 when I had Chloe.
Nice.
So a little late life blessing, but she's unstoppable, and we're so happy that she came into our life. And so having twins is, again, not for the weak at heart,
Of course.
It's really, really hard and really, really fun and a really amazing experience. But just trying to get twin toddlers into the minivan, you get one in, and then the other one wants to dart because they want to jet. Right?
Or pushing 2 strollers.
No, one super long stroller. It looks like a Greyhound
so
horse, right?
okay, you put both of them in
then
one.
This is, then I had this really, really long one, and then we went to the side by side, but you couldn't fit through the door.
Yeah.
But trying to get them into the minivan, because you would get them out of the stroller, and then you would put one to try and put the seatbelt on, and the other one would literally
run off.
Halt. She was gone, right? She was jetting, and then so then you'd have to get the first one, then track down the second one, and then I got a system where I would put them both in front of me and try and corral them while I get one strapped. It's always an exercise in logistics. Going to Disney World was probably the hardest thing I ever did with 2 3-year-olds who were still in a stroller, because you have to fold them, and I had the baby, so you had to fold them up, and you can't take like an open stroller, and then so who holds all the kids? And it was just me and my husband, and then there was like 2 strollers, 3 kids, and that was something else. But you live through it,
Of course.
and then now
It's a once in a lifetime experience.
Right?
Magic Kingdom, right?
Magic Kingdom, right? But now they're away, and next year at this time I'll be a solo, flying solo, an empty nester. I can't even think about it. And the kids come home from college, and it is laundry and chaos,
Right.
and fighting over who stole whose shirt, and because it's 3 girls, or who took whose lip gloss, and it's a blast. I love having a full house.
How did you get into pickleball?
She plays pickleball?
I do. The reason I was like running late today is because I tore a ligament playing pickleball. This is the second time I've done it. I keep thinking I'm 20, right? I'm not 20.
Are you in a tournament, or you just play for fun?
The Miami Shores Chamber of Commerce had a pickleball tournament last week.
The greater.
Right? And of course I had to be a baddie and play in it.
Of course.
Of course. I couldn't have a tournament and not play in it. And so now I'm in physical therapy. I physically did not wear the boot today, but I've been trucking around with that boot. My friends play, and they kept saying, after the twins were getting ready to go, I wanted to really focus on myself and focus on my physical fitness, and like a lot of people, just really took a look at what was happening to me. I lost a little bit of weight and decided that I needed to pick up a sport, and that was it. It became very social. It's a super social thing. I saw you with the
Yes, I was.
That was not, by the way, a pickleball. I want to point out that it was in our pickleball tournament.
With a tennis racket?
Bouncing a tennis ball. And sir, you realize you were sadly wrong with that.
You had a tennis racket?
Yes, and I had a tennis ball. I was playing with a paddle.
Yeah.
I found it outside.
Getting the look, like you realize that's not how that works. And it is the most fun I've had, truly. And you go out there, and it really is for people of all ages. I know it's kind of looks like it skews a little bit older, a little more mature, because it's something that's easy to do. It's really hard to be good at it, but it's easy to play.
Yes.
And if you don't kill yourself, it's something that you can do. I plan on playing pickleball. You ask me what the future holds. I'm going to be a pickleball circuit.
Champion.
I'm sponsored by Geritol. I'm going out there. I'm actually not very good, but it doesn't matter because I have a blast. It's very, very social. And I love that they're popping up everywhere. Is that pickleball or padel next door?
Padel.
Okay. Padel is for your age people. Padel is for the younger.
For the younger people?
For the younger hipsters.
What's the difference between the two?
Well, because padel uses a racket and pickleball uses a paddle, and you can play off the walls in padel.
Oh, okay.
I think, if I'm wrong, nobody kill me, but I'm pretty sure that you can play off the walls, and it's probably way more athletic. Although I would say that if you had played in that tournament, we have friends that are probably in their mid-70s, I'd have to say, maybe even early 80s.
Yes.
That'll take your head off. If I had to guess, these women probably played, like they were super athletic when they were younger, maybe played tennis at the country club, and now have these wicked forehands and will literally take your head off with the pickleball. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. They're very competitive.
Yeah. So Carla,
yes.
like I mentioned before, I do believe you have a very successful career, right? So if you could talk to your 18-year-old self or any teenager that's actually watching, what advice would you give on becoming successful?
Well, thank you for calling me successful. You never feel like you're successful, right?
Of course.
Do you feel successful?
No, you still, every day you get up, you're still working at it.
Right? It's a blessing to get up and say, today I have another chance to be a better person, better mother, better daughter, better friend, better executive chamber director. The advice I would give is be patient. Find your tribe. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated school. I knew that I wanted to do something in design. I had a hard time finding a job right away, and just kept trying to make the job I was in the job that I wanted. So little by little, if I worked as a production artist, but I wanted to work as a creative director, I'd start asking to take on some other things, or let me design this, or let me take on that. And little by little, I just kind of kept chipping away at it. And each time I would change jobs, I got a little bit closer to what I wanted. And it's a big thing now. I stayed at New Times for a long time. I was at New Times for almost 20 years, let's say, 15 years. It was a long time. But now I know the trend is with younger generations to jump jobs a lot. So when you're jumping from place to place, make sure that it's for something that is getting you closer to the goal that you have. If you want to do XYZ, then it doesn't have to be completely linear, but have a path in mind about how this could get you to the next spot. Does that make sense?
Yes. So you would say actually getting multiple jobs, not multiple jobs, but a job that can actually lead you to your purpose, you're saying?
Yes, even if it's not linear, even if somehow you're going to take this job, who knows, washing dogs, and you want to get to here. It's like that 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like, how can I get to here by here? Well, these people that I'm working for, they have a printing company, and maybe they have need for a graphic designer, or maybe they know somebody. Like, again, it's who you know, it's making contacts, and every new job you have is an opportunity to make more contacts and maybe learn a new skill that's going to get you closer to what your end game is.
So I have one more question for you, Carla. So for somebody that just graduated college, that even if they have a degree or in their major, but they don't know what they want to do, they don't want to do the degree anymore, what's an advice to actually, like, if they don't know what they want to do in life, what advice do we have for them?
Well, hopefully.
Like, if they don't have an end game yet.
As a mom with 2 kids in college, I'm hoping they try on all those hats while they're there. You know, I mean, take a class before you graduate, take a class in something that you're interested in. Okay. Try and figure out what you want to do. It doesn't have to be, I want to be this position in this company, in this job, but have a vague idea of what you want, and then I think it's just trial and error. I don't know if that's very valid advice, but trial and error. And I mean, isn't that what kids are doing in college now? Like, I think one of mine's about to drop out of computer science because she's realizing, even though she's really good at it, she's very strong in math, it's just not her passion,
right?
You know? And so follow your passion, and eventually that's going to get you the job that you want.
If you don't mind me asking, how were the college funded? Did you have a prepaid plan for them, or did you have... or is it through grants and scholarships?
Well, like I mentioned, they're all Smarties.
Of course.
So we did not do Florida prepaid. I had 3 kids and wasn't working. My ex-husband worked, and so we didn't do Florida prepaid, but we put some money aside. But for the most part, they're on their own in a lot of ways. They do student loans, they work, but they have full bright future, so that takes care of their academics. Which,
Nice.
thank goodness. I mean, that is it's good because they really did want the University of Florida. So that kind of worked itself out.
Carla, what do you enjoy doing?
Besides pickleball?
Yes.
Well, I've hurt myself a couple times, I will say, playing pickleball. So the other thing I do is I take an aqua aerobics class at our local community pool, which I have to say I've met the most interesting, intelligent, unbelievably funny women. They're probably, again, that same age range, like I'm guessing a lot of them are in their 70s. And they're former prosecutors and professors, and they're just a really intelligent, smart group of women. And I joined their mermaid book club. And in January, I'm picking the book. I feel a little pressure there.
Yes.
So, and I'm a social person, so I like meeting new people. I have a great set of girlfriends that I'm grateful for that will go out and have a glass of wine sometimes if we're not playing pickleball. I tried Pilates for a little while. That was a no-go. Definitely.
I think you got to be very flexible.
And I am not flexible. I'm like rolled up like a snail. And I thought, you know what? My body's just not meant for this. And she was like, no, you can do this. And I was like, I don't think I can. And then another woman walked in who was kind of my size, my whatever, probably a little bit bigger. And she was so graceful on the
Yes.
thing. She was like whack and whack. And I thought, okay, really, this is just not going to work for me. I had the thing wrapped around my head. It wasn't a good fit, but I tried it, right?
Right.
Because now I know that X'd out Pilates. So who knows what's next?
Miami Shores had the opportunity to have an alumni from the North Miami Junior High School as a mayor.
Senior high school.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We've had a mayor, Sandra Harris.
Yes.
I don't remember what class she was in, but she is an alumni of North Miami and was the second African-American mayor of Miami Shores, which is a huge thing because our demographic is skews. I believe it's pretty non-African-American, but she's an amazing woman.
Yes.
And very, very, very intelligent, and I thought she was a great mayor.
What have been your most memorable accomplishment thus far?
Thus far?
Yes.
In life or at the chamber?
And life, period.
Every mom's going to say their children. I mean, I can't take credit for them because
Right.
they're amazingly smart, but getting them to the point where they are successfully in college is, it's amazing. I feel really good about that. I can't take credit for it, but I feel really good about that.
And at this time, we would like to thank all of our continuous sponsors: Chick-fil-A Miami Shores, AZ Formal Wears, Comprehensive Health Center, Stardust Studio, and Gourmet Gathering. Thank you for listening and tuning in today. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time.
Follow the chamber.
And follow the Chamber of Miami Shores.
The greater
Chamber.
The Greater Miami Shores Chamber of Commerce.
Of Commerce.
Give us a follow. Thank you. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate this.